Today we're going to play Exploding Kittens, the modern day version of Hot Potato. Hi, I'm Chris and welcome to Playing Games. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Exploding Kittens is an enduring favorite in our house. It's a clever adaptation of the kids' knockout game, Hot Potato. The game company itself exploded in popularity after its epic crowdfund and release. They've since spun off more games such as Throw Throw Burrito, Happy Salmon, and Mantis. Object. The object of Exploding Kittens is to avoid exploding, and to be the last unexploded player in the game. As mentioned, this is a twist on the knockout genre, which include games such as Musical Chairs, Old Maid, and Russian Roulette, aka Russian Freedom of Speech. The game is straightforward, you simply must not draw an exploding kitten card. What makes this game more interesting though is twofold. Firstly, the cards in your hand can be used strategically for offense or defense. Secondly, the game's whimsical and goofy artwork infuses it with charm and ensures great replayability. Just take a moment to appreciate these cards. Each one is unique and loaded with humor and silly illustrations. So before diving in, let's familiarize ourselves with the different types of cards. First up, we have the Exploding Kittens. Like with Musical Chairs, there will be one fewer card in the deck than there are players in the game. This ensures that all but one player will explode during the game. You'll lose unless you can defuse the bomb, and that's exactly what these green cards do. Each player gets one defuse card at the start of the game, and they work like an extra life. Any remaining defuse cards are shuffled back into the deck. I'll tell you about the other cards in a little bit, but now let's set up the game. First off, remove the Exploding Kittens and defuse cards from the deck. Give one defuse card to each player. If we're playing with 4 players, I'll deal 4 diffuse cards out. Now, before you take the other diffuse cards and put them back into the deck with the Exploding Kittens, you'll first deal out 4 cards from the main deck. So now each player should have 5 cards, and within their hand, they should have 1 diffuse card. Now add the diffuse and 1 less Exploding Kitten card than there are people in the game back into the deck. So if we play with 4 players, we'll only use 3 Exploding Kitten cards. And why not 4 for 4 players? Well, one of the players will win by not exploding. If you have any extra Exploding Kitten cards, put them back in the box. So this deck will now be the draw pile, and that's essential to playing the game. This draw pile will determine who explodes and who doesn't. You do not reveal your cards to any players, but will play them face up just for demonstration purposes. Play goes like this. On your turn, you can play as many or as few cards as you like from your hand, but when you're done, you must pick up 1 card from the draw pile, unless a card is directed otherwise. If Exploding Kittens was just a simple knockout game, it would go like this. I'd take a card, my opponent would take a card, another player would take a card, 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 Exploding Kitten. So they would explode. They'd be out. They could use their diffuse card to save them, but that's how a simple knockout game would go. Like Hot Potato, we'd go round and round until somebody ended up with a Hot Potato, the Exploding Kitten, and that would be the game. But Exploding Kittens isn't a vanilla knockout game. It has these cards. We have favor cards, attack cards, shuffle cards, see the future cards, skip cards, nope cards, and 5 distinct cat cards. Each of these cards has a special action. Except for the 5 cat cards, they need to be combined with other cards to be useful. On your turn, you can choose to play as many of these cards as you like, or you could choose to play none of them and just pick up the required 1 card from the top of the deck at the end of your turn. Let's talk about their actions. Favor. These are favor cards. If you play one, you select another player, and they have to give you 1 card from their hand of their choosing. For example, if this player played their favor card, they'd put it in the discard and say, I'm going to take a favor from you, Chris. And then I look at my hand and I decide which card that I want to give them. I'll give them a taco cat because it's the least powerful of my cards. The next type of card we have is See the Future. Are you afraid of picking the top card from the draw deck because it might be an Exploding Kitten? If you play this card into the discard, you can look at the top 3 cards of the draw pile. If you see an Exploding Kitten card, you might want to use another card in your hand to prevent exploding, such as a shuffle card. This card lets you shuffle the draw pile, and hopefully you can get those Exploding Kittens as far away from you as possible. Simply put the shuffle in the discard, and then you get to shuffle the whole deck. Now when I end my turn, I pick another card, and instead of the Exploding Kitten, it's a nope card. That worked out well. You could also use a skip card if you're nervous about picking up the top card. If you play a skip card, you do exactly that. You send your turn to the next clockwise player, put it in the discard, and then instead of having to pick up that card, I let the next player do it. Or the attack card. If you want to do one worse to your opponent, you can use an attack card. This forces the next player to take 2 turns, doubling the chance of them getting an Exploding Kitten. If your opponent plays these cards against you, you're helpless to do anything to stop them, right? Nope. This is the nope card. It's the only card you can use at any time, and you can throw it down to stop any of the action cards. You cannot, however, nope an Exploding Kitten or an opponent using their diffuse card. Anything else, though, is fair game. You attack me? Nope. You want to see the future? Nope. You want to skip your turn? Nope. It's a 1-use card, and after you nope, you put it in the discard pile. Can you nope a nope? Yep. Let's say my opponent uses an attack card against me. Nope. but then they can nope me back. So I'm stuck getting an attack after all. Just kidding. Nope again. Can anyone use a nope at any time? Yep. My other opponent doesn't like that I keep getting out of trouble, so they throw their nope in, and now I'm back where I started. So what's up with these other random cat cards? At first glance, they seem to be filler cards, but they do have a role, and most people play with additional rules for them. If you have a matching pair of cat cards, you can discard them and take a card from any other player. My opponent here has 2 taco cats. They throw them into the discard, and they tell me that they want to take one of my cards. So I hold my cards up like this, and they can eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And if they're very fortunate, they might even steal one of my diffuse cards that way. This rule works with any of the additional cat cards. You can do it with 2 hairy potato cats, 2 rainbow Ralph cats, 2 beard cats, or 2 catermelons. Advanced play allows for any matching pair of cards to be used like this, but then you don't get to use the effects of those cards. Meaning I could use 2 attack cards and then use that to steal a card from another player, but I wouldn't get to use the effects of those attack cards. However, if they only have 1 card and I know it's a diffuse card, that might be a really good strategy to take that card from them. Another advanced play, if you have 3 of a kind, you can request a specific card from your opponent. For instance, can I have your diffuse card? Thank you. We play that if you discard 5 cards that are unique, you can take any card you'd like from the discard pile. The chosen card is almost always a diffuse card too. With any of these actions, unless it's a skip card or an attack card, you must end your turn by picking up the top card of the draw pile. Sometimes you have to pick up 2 if you're attacked. If you get an Exploding Kitten, you can only survive if you play a diffuse card. No other card will save you. If you get an Exploding Kitten card, you have to tell everybody right away that you exploded. If you don't have a diffuse card, you're out until the next game. Put your cards in the Exploding Kitten into the discard pile and enjoy being deceased. If you do have a diffuse card, discard it immediately and you get to survive. You do not discard the Exploding Kitten card. Instead, you have the opportunity to put it anywhere in the deck you'd like. Hide the deck from the view of the other players, like behind your back, or under the table. You may not look at any of the other cards or change the placement of any of the cards except for the Exploding Kitten card. Think about who you might want to have draw the Exploding Kitten. If it's the next player, put the card on the top. If it's the player after them, bury it 1 card down. If you're afraid of being sabotaged, maybe put it at the bottom of the deck. That strategy is up to you though. Ending the game. Play continues as players draw Exploding Kitten cards, and if they can't defuse them, they're eliminated. The final 2 players play down the deck until the last Exploding Kitten cannot be defused. The surviving player is the winner. Congratulations. Reset the game and give it another shot. Variations. The Ghost Rule. This is a variation based on the ultimate Italian knockout game, Cuckoo, which I covered wonderfully right here. Here's how it works in Exploding Kittens. If you've been exploded and are out of the game, you're now a ghost and the other players will ignore you. But you can get back into the game if you can get any of the remaining players to respond to you or acknowledge your existence. You can take a card from their hand and re-enter the game. As a ghost, you could say, "Do you want something to drink? Wait, how many players are left? If I had an attack card, I'd play that. I think you have some guacamole on your face." And so on. If another player responds, you're back, baby. But as a ghost, you cannot touch other players or their cards. And be clever, not excessively annoying. If you're being a pest, it doesn't count. Final thoughts. As mentioned, this is a family favorite game. The quick gameplay, the unpredictable chance, and the ability to play strategy and revenge all give Exploding Kittens great replayability. The ticking time bomb mechanic creates a lot of suspense, and that the game empowers players with the ability to delay or even place that bomb elevates the game above most other knockout games. This is a packaged game that should endure the test of time and perhaps even stick around as long as games like Uno or Skippo. Did I get something wrong, or do you play it differently, or just want to say hi? Let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to keep your knowledge alive. Please subscribe, comment, and like to help this channel explode in popularity. Also help support this channel with a digital donation. You are great. See you next time on Playing Games.